Cedric, what's good? Beast, what's good? What's good? What's good? Let me get these last things set up so we can get this thing going. All right, let's get this thing going. Let me cut the intro. Let's cut the intro. All right, let's get rid of that. How y'all feeling on this Friday? I'm feeling really good on this Friday. Good morning to you, Cedric. Good morning to you, Beast. I'm feeling really good today, y'all. Having 2 days to prepare a show when the Cleveland media and the Cleveland Browns are giving us these layups to break down feels really good. If anybody has ever seen a movie Coming to America, the first one, the funny one, the good one, do y'all remember when Prince Hakeem looked out the window in the morning in New York City and he was screaming good morning to everybody and the girl was like, F you, and he's like, F you too. That's how I feel today, y'all. Your boy is feeling good. So I believe it's going to be a great show. And as y'all know, we are going to break down the topics that everybody else breaks down. But y'all know I got to go to a deeper level on every topic. I can't just stay surface level doing and saying the dog food stuff that people say. I got to take it a step further. I always got to take it a step further because if you look at history or how a person has handled themselves over time, you can always find the answers as long as you're willing to look for them. The answers are right in front of you. The answers are there. So let me give y'all a little teaser for what we're going to do. Let's give y'all a little teaser for the breakdown in the show. Also, I'm switching up the format slightly, so hopefully y'all enjoy. Give y'all a little teaser of how we built this whole show off this one question. This one question, we built the whole show off of it. Let's go, Kevin. What you got to say?
Back up. You said he was getting some number one reps. Is that true with Shedeur?
No. I mean, with a young quarterback, with Dylan starting, you want to make sure he gets a lot of the reps. Different when you have a veteran like Joe, I would tell you, Tony. But still getting reps in a bunch of periods.
That's going to be an L, coach. That's going to be an L. And I'm going to tell y'all why this is an L. From just a fundamental standpoint, this is an L. Because as an athlete, when you're in a lot of high-pressure situations, you want your instincts to kick in, and you want to just read and react. Good morning. Ladal. Should I call you Ladal or should I call you Latanya? Let me know which one. I was so nervous. I didn't want to mispronounce your YouTube handle. So I was like, man, is it Ladal? I looked at your thing and said Latanya. So let me know. Let me know which one you prefer, which one works better for you, or let me know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, because I'm always conscious of that. So always conscious of it. Good morning to you as well. For any athlete that's in high pressure situations continuously, they want their instincts to kick in and they want their instincts to match things that they've repped so many times. So reps are very important. People diminish reps like it doesn't matter, but reps are very important. If you look at anything you've gotten better in life, it's all because of repetition. Oh, Latanya Doll is my middle name. Okay, got you. All right, cool. All right, so I don't want to mess it up, so I'm gonna hit you with the Latanya. Okay, perfect. We're on the same page. Good. Perfect. Remember when Kevin spoke of the development of his players when Shedeur was named as QB2, he was speaking about DG more than Shedeur. Chris Canty is going to say something similar along those lines, Zedric. I always believe when I'm laying out my show, it's either Zedric or Beast. I'm like, they are secretly looking at the rundown on my show. They have to be, because they are always on top of it early in the game. So that's why the reps are important. The reps are very important, so you could just go back to what you've always done, what you always known based on the situation that you're in. And we have people who don't understand high pressure situations saying reps don't matter. This is the problem with the reps don't matter for Shedeur. He is one play away from going into the game. One play away. Now, we can look at the Browns, and it's easy to pile on them and say the Browns are dysfunctional, which they are. Everybody sees it. Nobody can say they aren't. I didn't see the Candy clip. I heard about it, though. Man, that's funny because you spot on. You spot on to what he said. When you were talking about these reps, look at every other team in the NFL. When the Cleveland Browns did their scrimmage before the game with the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts took 90% of the reps. Their backup took 10% of the reps. So if you are looking to be like a Philadelphia Eagles, if you're looking to be like a San Francisco 49ers who have had multiple quarterback injuries and always are playing multiple quarterbacks, you always have to prepare for the unexpected. It's good if you just bank those reps and you're just gradually getting him better. It's bad if you never give him the reps and he has to go out there. So if the good teams are doing it and the Browns are a bad team historically and they are not doing it, what is the answer or conclusion we can come from that? The Browns are doing it wrong. It's that simple, y'all. The Browns are doing it wrong. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to look into it. We're going to dig deeper. I'm going to take y'all back. I'm not just going to Q-Dog, first team reps don't stop development. Repetitions and practice for memory is what development is. Sanders will be fine. Hear me out. I'm not saying Sanders is going to be bad. I have faith in Shedeur. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm calling out is the Cleveland Browns are doing it wrong, and they have a history of doing it wrong. And anybody who is defending them is defending someone who doesn't have a history of success. So that's exactly what I'm saying. This is less about Shedeur and more about the Cleveland Browns are floating in the wind. They're floating in the wind. They do whatever comes up. Now you got people coming out saying, man, that quarterback, the whole quarterback situation has been bad. You got Tony Grossi saying, man, yeah, the quarterback situation this whole time hasn't made sense. Y'all know who else knew it didn't make sense early? Me and also other NFL teams who've been laughing at the Cleveland Browns this whole time. This is more about the Cleveland Browns than it is about the actual players. That's why even later we're going to get to, I'm going to take it away from Shedeur because that's the easy thing for people to do, to just say you're doing this because of Shedeur. I'm going to show y'all how Kevin Stefanski was not able to get another rookie quarterback prepared for their first start. So the easy thing is to use Shedeur. We're going to get to Shedeur later, but I'm going to show y'all Kevin Stefanski has failed at preparing a rookie quarterback previously. Also, everything they poured into Dillon Gabriel, we don't see it out of Dillon Gabriel either. So this is more about the Browns, y'all. But with all that being said, very long open. Let's get this thing going. We're going to start off this show with a little. Let's get a little motivation. Let's get our minds right. Let's see. How did I set this up? Yeah, let's get our minds right for a little motivation. I think y'all know this guy.
I always think that there's two types of players who love to win and players who hate to lose. Which one are you?
I'm neither.
Meaning?
Meaning that, you know, I play to figure things out. I play to learn something, right? Because I think if you play with a fear of failure, or you play with the will to win, or that supersedes the fear of failure, I think it's a weakness either way, right? Because if you play with the fear of failing, you'll have the pressure on yourself to play, you know, to capitulate to that fear. If you play with the sense of I want to win, then you have the fear of what happens if you don't. But if you find common ground in the middle, in the center, then it doesn't matter. You're unfazed by either, right? And that enables you to really just stay in the moment, stay connected to it, and not feel anything other than what's in front of you. So, you know, I try to just be dead center.
So a lot of people.
I like that from Kobe right there. Good morning, Van. What's going on? You're not too late. You haven't missed that much. You're not that late. So this is Kobe right here speaking on failure. I thought it was important we need to make sure that we don't forget the greats and how they use their mental strength to move forward. Kobe would take 70 shots. He can miss 70 shots. It would become time for him to take the game winner. He would take that game winner. He wouldn't feel any type of way. So we cannot forget the greats, RIP to Kobe, but we cannot forget how their mind was, because that's the key. That's the key in a lot of what we are seeing now with young athletes. Starting to look like Musgrave and Reese are more Shedeur focused. Man, you see what's in front of you. They see what it is. I don't trust Kevin. I hope Shedeur see this and know not to trust Kevin. You wanted something, Beast. Let's get a little bit more motivation. That was Kobe, not harping on failure or success, more so harping on the process. That's what the Cleveland Browns get wrong. They get the process wrong.
Get down where it was like, man, this ain't gonna work. Or, you know,
that's why I call my thing the marathon, because I'm not gonna lie and portray this ultimate poise like I've had it figured out. Nah, I just didn't quit. That's the only distinguishing quality from me and probably whoever else going through this or went through this or is gonna go through this, is that I ain't quit. I went through every emotion. I went through every emotion with trying to pursue what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And I think that what gonna separate whoever's gonna try to go for something is that you ain't gonna quit. Unless, you know, you're gonna really take the stance if I'm gonna die behind what I'm getting at right now.
Man, I love that clip from Nipsey Hussle right there. That is also something, RP Nipsey, that is something that I believe Shedeur has to do. Shedeur has to just lay it all out there. Don't quit. Don't lose any confidence. Don't lose any of that. And just know that every day he wakes up, he's the man, and he's going to be able to take advantage of the situation when he gets the opportunity. So just wanted to start y'all off with a little motivation, just to show y'all you got to look at success and look how people who are successful think and use that in every day. So just I'm going to start dropping some motivation at the beginning of these shows. Hold up, Kevin. We're not ready for you yet. Kevin, we're not ready for you. Let's skip off Kevin. Let's go here. We got some laughs. I always thought this was funny. I'll never think this wasn't funny when he's doing this right in front of DJ Moore.
I ain't benching DeAndre Hopkins. Should I let John Brown go bench? That's kind of disrespectful. Like John Brown being an asset, he got a lot of choice selections. I'm giving you insider trade, so don't report me. You know. No, I'm just saying. So should I take him off the bench? Because currently he on the bench. Yeah. You got to start. What if I just flex? What if I put him at flex? I don't understand that. That just mean an extra guy. Like, yeah. Put him at flex? Because he's not a real wide receiver yet. He's just kind of developing. I don't want to say all that now. No, I'm just talking about for fantasy. Should I start you or John Brown? It's a legit question. Is it not? Start me. Start you? You give me 2 points, I'm slap shit out you.
You know you do it.
So we get a little serious. We get some laughs in. I always like that clip, man. That clip is hilarious. He just talk about him like he's not standing there. Then he told him to get him 2 points, he gonna slap him. Let's go to Cam. This is a little bit longer, but this is Cam. So a couple weeks ago, I played what Drew Brees said he would use to kind of gauge if quarterbacks have what it takes, and he also talked about the things he would put around them to try to ensure their success. So this is Cam breaking that down. I thought this was good before we really get into the main part of the show. But let's go, Cam.
Best friend, a solid veteran quarterback. Man, Derek Anderson for me. Hey fella, hey bud, hey, where you at, fella? He helped me grow. I knew nothing about being a professional quarterback. I thought I did. I had the talent to be a professional quarterback. But Derek Anderson, Ken Dorsey, Mike Shula really was the morphing power to saying, hey, get our guy right. Make sure he comes into each meeting with a notebook and a pen to write. Why? Because even writing notes can keep you up. It's the optics of, man, who's our quarterback? Man, who's our leader? Man, he dozing off. If your teammates are seeing you snooze, what is that saying about you? It got to a point when I was in Carolina that every time I would come into work, I would always see a white Range Rover. One particular day, I looked on the license plate. It had an Oregon license plate. Every time I would go into the locker room, and I started to say, man, how in the world is Derek Anderson as a backup quarterback beating me to work? And not only is he at work, and granted, this was before Postmates, Uber Eats, I knew Derek Anderson in the morning was damn near going to be barefoot, walking around the locker room, drinking his iced coffee. And
where your shoes at, bro?
So
where
that
your
means
shoes at?
he was up early enough to go to Starbucks, get his order, and to be the first, not one of the first, the first player in that locker room. I started to take that personal. I started, no, ain't no way.
I like that a lot. Cam saw the example. Derek Anderson was the example. It forced him to step his game up. That's what happens in these ultra competitive spaces. You see someone else be an example. They're showing you how to be the guy. They're not telling you, hey, do this, do that. They're showing you, and you can mimic what they're doing. You can look at what they're doing and say, I don't have to do that. I'm more talented. Or you can go and be better. And that's what he did. They're doing some witchcraft rituals on the radio show now. Cheryl, we got some of that in today's show as well. Even some of the stuff that they said this morning. Keep pounding, Cam. I thought that's a funny thing when I went to a Carolina Panthers game and they do the keep pounding. I was like, man, is the Browns really that bad? Because, you know, the Browns, what's the Browns? This is what the Browns do. I think I would take what the Browns do over what they do for the Carolina Panthers. Need folks to push you to excel by their example. I agree. I totally agree with that. Now, that was a more lighthearted part of the show. We get some laughs. We get a little seriousness with Cam. We see how he was pushed by Derek Anderson. Now, let's get to Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski is the one that said Shedeur was not getting first-team reps. People on the radio took it one way. People local in Cleveland took it one way. Athletes took it one way. National media took it one way. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to eliminate the "you're just caping for Shedeur" card from them for right now. This portion of the show, I'm going to pull Kevin Stefanski's card and say, has he shown a history of being able to get QBs, rookie QBs, ready for their first game? And I got to take y'all back. I got to take y'all back in the time machine here. Let's get it. This is Kevin Stefanski after the last Browns game I went to back in Cleveland. This is the last one I went to. We're facing the Baltimore Ravens. It was week 4 of the 2023 season. We were tailgating before the game, right there in the Muni lot, and we got alerts on our phone. Good morning, Ms. Brown. We got alerts on our phone that DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, was going to be starting instead of Deshaun Watson. And we're looking at our phones like, what is this? How is this happening? This doesn't make sense. Good morning, Cheryl. So I was at that game. I was maybe 5 rows from the field. Best seats I ever had in my life, and I watched the worst game I've seen. It was terrible. So this is Kevin Stefanski after the game. And we're going to look and see if anything has changed from Kevin. Let's see.
Outplayed, outcoached, disappointed in that. But we got to own it. We own it. We win together. We lose together. So we're a 2-2 football team. Going to use this bye to take a deep breath as a team and get ready for the long haul. But obviously disappointed with how today went. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Did you expect Deshaun to be back for the San Francisco game?
I do. I think obviously having the bye helps.
With Deshaun warming up over there, it just seemed like.
So if everybody knows, they expected Deshaun Watson to be back in 2 weeks. Turns out he needs shoulder surgery on that same shoulder. So they were really wrong with their diagnosis of Deshaun and also with their preparation. Now, preparation is the thing we are talking about when it comes to Kevin Stefanski and getting young guys ready. That's what we're talking about. Remember the focus. We're not going to let somebody jump in and throw us off our square. We know what we're talking about. Same rhetoric. Cheryl, you get it. Sound is low. Let's see. Let's make sure I got this maxed out for y'all. Let me turn it up here. Let's get it up some more for y'all. All right, so hopefully the next video, the sound is better on that video. Okay, it could be because it's an old video, but he was trying to get DTR ready. So now let's go to DTR speaking after this game, and let me know if the sound is good. I turned it up like the system sound.
Consultation with everybody. How bummed out was he when he walked back up into the locker room and told you that he couldn't play?
Yeah, he's a competitor. I would be feeling the same way. I want to go out there and play as much as I know he does. And so for him to not go out there, having to watch from the sideline, especially with how we played today offensively, I know he was pissed. And so, you know, we got to clean that up. I have to clean that up for him. And like I said, making sure that
Facts,
I play
man.
his role as a backup the best I can, because today obviously wasn't it. So.
You know that obviously we'll talk about them. We'll talk about when you heard you were starting. What were those emotions that were kind of going through your mind?
Oh, happy. I mean, shoot, I played the first 3 games. I played a little bit preseason. I love playing football, man. I love being out there with the guys and making sure that I'm the one out there making the calls, going through the reads, going through the footwork. So I'm a football player at heart. This is what I love to do, and I'm going to take advantage of every opportunity that I get. So.
Did you come to the stadium today thinking you would play?
I come to it every week thinking I'm playing. So.
That's Tony Grossi asking the questions, y'all.
I mean, it may sound corny, cliche, but every week.
In this moment, DTR is defending Kevin Stefanski. What Tony Grossi is getting at in this clip is, were you prepared to start? Did you have any idea if you were going to start or not? And I'm going to show y'all what DTR's stat line was. Let's go to his stat line. DTR was 19 of 36, 121 yards, 3 interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. He had a QBR of 22.5, a QB rating of 25.3. Very bad. It was a very bad game for DTR. Now, he was defending Kevin Stefanski in the moment right after the game. But after the game, eventually he decided to tell the truth. Browns rookie Dorian Thompson-Robinson admits he wasn't expecting to play. He was thrust into action hours before the game. He had no idea he was going to play. This is the person that everyone is telling me to trust in developing quarterbacks and get them ready to play. That's going to be a dub. This is Exhibit A of why I don't trust Kevin Stefanski to get somebody ready. It's right here. So the easy thing for people to do is just go to Shedeur. That's why if you take it off of Shedeur and you show he has a history of not being able to do this, then people can't argue with you. If you notice, anytime you hear on the radio, if they take a call and they bring up a person who brings up DTR's first start, the radio host kind of change the subject, or they say, well, it's okay. I understand if you don't believe in Kevin Stefanski. Just a week ago, we were talking about Kevin Stefanski being fired. They win a game versus the hapless Miami Dolphins. Now we are saying trust Kevin Stefanski. How does it change so much from week to week? How do we go from lose your job, fired, go work somewhere else, to trust you when what you're doing, when also what you're doing is not the way majority of the winners in the NFL do it? Somebody make sense of that for me, y'all. It doesn't add up. It makes no sense. That's why I told y'all, after the Dolphins game, I look at Kevin Stefanski the exact same way. I look at him the exact same way. Nothing changes for me because I know this is fool's gold. But you know what? You got people in the comments. You got people in the comments saying, man, just enjoy the win. Just enjoy the win. That's what a lot of people are saying. So it's this book I really like. It's called Fooled by Randomness. And I'm not going to bore y'all with all the details of the book, but one of the key concepts from the book is people are mistaking luck for skill. That's one of the key concepts in the book. Now, how does that relate to the Cleveland Browns? If you look at the Cleveland Browns this season and going into last year, would you say the Cleveland Browns beating the Miami Dolphins was luck or skill based on the overall of how the Browns have played recently? Just these are the questions. These are the questions. The next question is, if you say it's skill, is this a long-term solution for how the Browns can win game in and game out? Can they get that minimal level of impact on the game from a quarterback and win? Cheryl, you got it. You got it. Can the Browns beat anybody else that way? If the Browns can't beat anybody else that way, they beat the Miami Dolphins, then you have to know this was merely a random act. The Miami Dolphins were being so bad that that's why they beat them. Or you can ask yourself this question. What team couldn't have beat the Miami Dolphins last week? Or what majority of teams beat the Miami Dolphins last week based on how they played, based on Tua, based on the weather, based on the circumstances? If majority of the teams would have beat them, then how can you say this is something that the Browns really did well? Just a question. You might be able to get one more game like that. There you go. If you can only get one more game that way, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. These are the tough questions you got to ask people. The people who say, we won the game. We won the game. It's because they don't see the bigger picture. It's a difference between people who have to see it play out first and a visionary. The visionary is the person, they see the signs. They see all the subtle signs, and they're like, this is going to go bad. And everybody else is like, what are you talking about? It looks like it's going to be fine. Oh, 4 quarterbacks. None of the young quarterbacks are getting a lot of reps. We trade off a quarterback who was getting a majority of the reps that they wanted to start. Even though he was hurt, he was still getting 707 reps, taking reps away from the rookies. Oh, the quarterback who we did start, something about Kevin Stefanski's message is making these guys not feel comfortable to go out there and play quarterback. We witnessed that by seeing Joe Flacco play in Cincinnati on being there for 9 days versus how he played for Cleveland. That is on Kevin Stefanski. Now you get here and you have one rookie getting reps and people say, oh, because it was a veteran there. Now you have the other rookie who is one snap away from getting in the game, not getting the similar reps for timing to be on time with the rest of the offense if he was to go in, even though, remember, majority of winning teams do it this way. The Browns aren't a winning team, so this shows you they're doing it wrong. Some people had to wait. Tony Grossi is one of those people. Let me get it for y'all. Let's just not talk about it. Let me hit y'all comments while I'm looking for this. They refuse to critically think about the way the win was won. That's a fact. The Browns been lucky. I agree, Ms. Brown. No, because they just been lucky. I agree, Ms. Brown. Good morning, Ms. Jones. How you doing? All right, let's get here. Let's put this down. So people, remember, this is about who the visionary saw it early. The other people is now starting to hit them, and they're starting to say, hey, some of this stuff wasn't right. So that means if you were a person who saw it in the summer that this was a bad plan for the 4 quarterbacks, think about how much further ahead of you are than the people who are right there who couldn't see it until now. Example is going to be Tony Grossi. Let's get to Tony Grossi. Let's get this up on your screen. He's been singing the praises of the Browns, trust in the Browns, trust the process, trust what they're doing until now. Now he's not saying trust him. Let me get the volume up, make sure that's good for y'all. Let's play it.
They are 2-5, and a large reason is the quarterback situation. At one time, they had a surplus of quarterbacks. Now you're down to 2 rookies, and it just never made sense from the start. And it seems like every move they've made with the quarterbacks causes you to scratch your head. From the very day of the draft, you could go back to the trade for Pickett. Okay, the only thing I agreed with signing Flacco, and everything else has been oh my gosh, now we're going that way. It's like if you chart the plan, whatever it is, it looks like a zigzag. Instead of a straight line, a curve going up, and the situation getting better, it goes this way, then that way, this way, and that way. It makes no sense. They are 2-5.
There you go. He finally got to it at the end. The Browns quarterback situation makes no sense. So the people who called this out immediately, think about how much further ahead they are and how they're assessing the situation. It took them all this. Tony Grossi was the one who kept telling us they have a process. They see him every day. They know what they're doing. That is what he always told us. Now he's saying, man, this is terrible. You want to know people who identified this early? I'm not gonna keep talking about a lot of books, but here's another book. Another book I like is called Atomic Habits. In Atomic Habits, it talks about you doing something small every single day to eventually be really good at something, but you just putting in a little bit of work with it. That is what the Cleveland Browns have taken away from everybody involved in this situation. Browns love Travis Hunter. DJ is a supercomputer. Shedeur can't read a defense. We love Kenny Pickett. Can't take them seriously. I agree. Took 7 weeks to get to this point. So yeah, 7 weeks of NFL time. Actually 7 months. That's a fact. Tony Grossi is a hater. I agree. Tony Grossi is not the biggest Shedeur Sanders fan at all. Tony Grossi has, Van, that's a great book. Yeah, Atomic Habits is legit. Tony Grossi has been the one who has been defending them the whole time. So if it's to the point where the people who have been your biggest defenders can't defend you anymore, how bad is it really? That means it's really, really, really bad. It's really bad. Now he's going back and he's like, man, y'all have me out here looking crazy. Do y'all remember when I said the Browns are feeding these guys bad information? The Albert Beers, the Adam Scheffners, the Mary Kays, the Tony Grossis. I kept going down the line. I said they all getting bad information. Now they're seeing they've been played like a fool. Y'all remember a couple weeks ago, I said I was thinking about the song from The Main Ingredient, Everybody Plays the Fool. All these people who held water for the Browns, they played the fool. Now they can't play the fool anymore. It's out there. Let's get to the next thing that they talk about there. Let's go here. When Tony Grossi ain't defending you no more, it is a problem. Let me start this over.
What kind of business is it when
Asante, what's good? Before we play this video, let me say this real quick. Asante, at the end of the last stream, you asked me to play the chat replay on the live streams. So I had to go in. I changed the setting. As long as I don't have to edit anything out for copyright in the stream, I changed the settings so the chat replays will save. I didn't have that saved previously. So if you look at some of the other live streams, you won't see the live chat replay. But moving forward, I did see your comment as I was logging out. So moving forward, you'll see it as long as I don't have to edit anything out. The only way it will be taken away is if I got to edit something out. So you should be able to see that if you catch the replay. So shout out to you for bringing that up to me because that kind of changes the experience because I interact with the chat so much. You definitely want to be able to see, you know, what I'm talking about when I'm speaking to people in the chat. So shout out to you for bringing that to my attention. Breer sounded defeated the other day. Facts, because they've been used. They've been used. They played the fool, and now that they're playing the fool, they just got to keep going out here. People were pushing back on them. People were saying, "Hey, this doesn't make sense," and now they're like, "Dang, they done hung me out to dry." So that's how it go. That's how it go when you're not using your own brain. When you are out here just standing in the middle, being a mouthpiece, you got to take the hits when what you're saying don't make sense. A la Jason Lloyd. Jason Lloyd is always one of those people. You ask him a question, he don't never have an opinion. He always saying, I think they're going to do this. I think they're going to do that, playing both sides of it. So he's all over the place. All right, let's get this going. Let me start it over.
what kind of business is it when you've got a 5'9" quarterback running around and could twist an ankle, and Shedeur would have to play Sunday in Foxborough, and he's not getting any reps. That seems like bad preparation, no?
It does. You wouldn't question it if you had a backup.
If it was Kelly Holcomb, yeah, right. If it was, right. I wouldn't. It's not. It's a kid they haven't. He hasn't taken first-round team reps with anybody yet.
It's almost like the coach is saying, "Okay, you gave me 2 rookie quarterbacks. I'm going to prepare one of them, and we'll see what happens if he goes down."
Well, that's not fair to Shedeur. If he were to go in this game, God knows what he would look like, Tony. What kind of business is it when
you see how there's the rubber's meeting the road, just like you just said? Can't lie anymore. They're being exposed in real time. And now people can't even hide behind it no more. It's so obvious that people can't hide. They can't deny it. They can't say this is not it. It's obvious it's happening in front of all of us. Let's get to what Cheryl was. The video audio is super low. All right, let me get this right for y'all. Let me see. Let's turn this up here. Got it maxed out. I know sometimes it could be the IG or it could be the X videos are lower. Let me know if this next video I play on YouTube is low or not. If it's low, then I'm gonna have to really figure out what's going on. But let me know when I play this next video, Beast. Let's see. Let's get this here. This is the Cleveland radio. This is what Cheryl was talking about earlier and how they're sounding. Let me know if the sound is good for y'all once I play this.
Sunday be make or break for Dillon Gabriel, friend?
I don't know about that. I mean, they're not even giving Shedeur Sanders first team reps. So I think for me, like if they start giving Shedeur Sanders first team reps in practice, that will be the attention grabber.
Well, why would they give a guy who's going to be a backup the first team any first team reps in practice when he didn't get a whole? I mean, he still didn't get a whole lot of first team reps. Dillon Gabriel didn't before, so you're kind of playing catch up, and you got to try to win a football game against somebody.
Dillon was getting first team reps in OTAs.
I know, but he still didn't get as much as some of the other guys did.
But still.
Appreciate that, Asante.
Joe Flacco was here, and they found ways to get Dillon Gabriel reps in practice for that. I mean, just saying, like, they're not giving Shedeur the same type of treatment when it comes to reps that they gave Dillon Gabriel.
But isn't that part of part of getting ready for a football game that you're trying to win?
Yeah, like Daryl, isn't
This, my friends, is a lack of understanding. Lack of understanding, and that is why their faces kind of turned up when he was saying, "Hey, he's not getting any reps." Let's see what else they got to say.
If you can give Dillon Gabriel first team reps with Joe Flacco as the starting quarterback and Dillon's your backup, then why can't you do that with Shedeur?
Joe's been doing it for 1,000 years. Dillon Gabriel's just starting his career. He needs everything he can get when he's getting ready to start a football game.
Okay.
Well, do you think...
Y'all know what that okay was. And y'all know, I always told y'all, the guy in the middle, Daryl Ryder, I rarely agree with him. I'm always using him if we need something to laugh at on the show, usually because his takes, he usually lacks understanding. Now, in this instance, he is even saying, okay. they can't even catch the double standard. It's a fact. Zach said the same thing. Crazy. Yeah, it's a conundrum. A week ago, we supposed to fire this guy. A week later, we supposed to trust him. Now he's doing something that goes against how all the good teams in the NFL do it. He doesn't have a track record of success where we should allow him grace to try new things. We at this point. Saying he needs everything he can get sounds like a lack of confidence. Zedric, you wanted something, man. Remember I said I got to watch Dillon Gabriel in this press conference because to me, it seems like they were doing things to build up his confidence. And it's just showing. If it's going to throw you off your square because somebody gets 2 reps behind you, that just means you're not confident in what you're doing. If putting Shedeur in at the end of the game, which I'm not advocating for it, but if putting Shedeur in at the end of the game, he hand off the ball 3 times to just see the live speed of the game is going to throw you off. You're not the guy. That's all it is. You're not the guy. Let's keep it going.
Think, Daryl, that it's telling that they're not giving Shedeur any of those reps?
Yeah, I do.
You think that's telling?
Yeah, I think you get. I mean, what if something happens to Dylan on Sunday? And obviously, I don't want to think in those negative terms, but you're asking questions. Do you really think Shedeur's ready to step on the field and take that thing over without having a single first-team rep?
I don't think I'd have a whole lot of excitement, or I shouldn't say I'd be excited.
And there you have the glitch moment. Everything else they were saying, they were confident in what they were saying. He just put a question to them. What happens? Why you glitching? Why you can't say what you're saying? Say it with your chest. Say what you feel. The same way you had the confidence to say they're getting Dylan Gabriel ready by giving him all the reps. Say it with confidence. What do you think is going to happen if Shedeur has to go out there? Say it with your chest. Don't dance around it. Let's see if he can turn it around.
You guys wanted him out there for the final drive last week.
Yeah, to hand the effing ball off, Daryl. I didn't say I wanted him to go conduct it.
Good morning, Dawn. He got him. He got him. He got him. Look at Daryl's face.
You triggered my trap card.
He got him. He knew he got him. Dylan Gabriel got all them first-team reps and still not playing good. There you go, Beast. There you go. 5-yard explosives. I saw that. Did y'all see that 5-yard explosives? I think Shedeur going to be fine if he go in. I think Shedeur is capable. I think it's probably going to take a series or two just for him to get the timing down. I think that's the only thing. I think the timing will be off at first, and that's the adjustment that they'll just have to make on the flow. Because Kevin Stefanski's offense is all about timing. When Kevin Stefanski's offense works, it's very similar to some parts of the West Coast offense created by Bill Walsh way back in the day. It's about when you get to that third step, the receiver needs to be where they're supposed to be so you can just release the ball. So if it's a 3-step drop on that third step, you're supposed to boom, let it go. 5-step drop, the same. Very long play action, 7-step drop is the same. So that's what I think will be off. I think the reps will help them get their timing on the same page. You don't want to run back too fast. You want to make sure the timing is good. So that's the only thing I think the reps will really change. But I got belief in Shedeur. I'm not worried about it from that point. Let me find something. That 5-play explosive was funny. So let me find that because people are probably not sure what you're referencing. Let's find that. All right, so I got it right here. Let's switch this over. This is also off of X. So hopefully the volume is good. I'm gonna turn up the volume for y'all to make sure y'all can hear it. Let's get this all the way up. Let me do my back end volume for y'all too, just to make sure y'all can hear it good. 5-yard explosives, y'all.
But like I've said before, you want explosives in the.
Man, that's really low. Let's get this a little bit higher. Start him over. Let's go, Dylan. Talk to me about these 5-yard explosives. What are these things you talk about?
But like I've said before, you want explosives in the pass game, not only vertical throws, but also maybe a 5-yard throw that can go for 20. So any explosives really help. But
5-yard explosives, you say? Do y'all recall when I told y'all I watched Dylan Gabriel tape from college and I said it looked like highlight film tape for all of his skill position players? He believes he has those skill position players here. It's nobody with Tez Johnson's speed on this team. Well, maybe Isaiah Bond, but they're not using him how Tez Johnson was used in college. Sure, you're correct. He don't have a personality. He's bland. So that's what he's talking about. You need explosive playmakers to have 5-yard explosives. We ain't got that over here, bro. We ain't got that over here. So that's Dillon Gabriel, everyone. Let's keep this thing moving. That's what the 5-yard explosives was. Wasn't sure if y'all saw that. Good morning, Marie. Shedeur's going to audible the coach's plays anyway. That's in his muscle memory from college playing with Shermer. Latanya, you on to something? He is, because sometimes what happens is when you're reading the field, the coach calls a play, and his play is designed to beat a coverage. So if you think if they have a tendency to always go to cover 3 and this down and distance, you're calling the play that's more likely to beat that coverage. If the defense uses a tendency breaker and instead of playing cover 3, they play cover 1 man, it's totally different how you going to beat that coverage. So sometimes a quarterback might be like, man, every time they show this, they're doing this. So this is something that we got to adjust on our own. The play caller is not able to identify this because it's happening so fast in real time. You need a quarterback that could do that could change that. And Kevin Stefanski wants ultimate level of control. So that's why he gonna be upset with Shedeur, but everybody's gonna be happy with Shedeur on the sidelines, and Kevin Stefanski gonna be upset with Shedeur because Shedeur's gonna make the play, but it's not gonna be Kevin Stefanski's play. Is the best way to put it. Brucey Gable is not a starting QB or backup. He still has a college ball mindset. That's a fact. When you look at the Oregon quarterbacks, one of the tendencies for them is they've played with so many explosive guys that they don't have to do the extra thing to make the play. And that's what you're seeing. Look at what Justin Herbert was early in his career. You like, man, he has all the tools, but then you get to the playoffs, he's throwing all these interceptions. Look at Marcus Mariota. Just a career backup. Very nice guy. Great teammate, people say, after his stuff in Tennessee. Just a career backup. Because there was so much talent around him, he didn't face enough adversity. He didn't face enough situations where he had to make something happen. Dillon Gabriel, same thing. This seems like the writing is on the wall. Shedeur will probably be called upon Sunday. New England's not an easy team. In normal thinking, I think that would be true, Dawn. In Kevin Stefanski I think Kevin Stefanski is going to go down in flames, in fuego with his guy. That's what I think. So I think Dillon Gabriel might have to throw 3 interceptions for Kevin. Dillon Gabriel might have to throw 3 interceptions. It'd be in the second half, and the Browns are down by 35 for him to say, man, let's see if we can get a spark from Shedeur. If that doesn't happen, we're going to see Dillon Gabriel the whole game because he gonna go down with his guy. It's more than just when people play the game of, we're going to get to that later. I'm not going to jump ahead. We're going to get to that later. I got another video that's going to break it down. It's going to get more into the point that I was just about to make. Let's go here. More Cleveland radio for y'all. This is from yesterday, though. Let's see what they got to say.
The blood will be on your hands. So when this comes to Sunday.
Yeah, I think 3 is the number to get him out here. Yeah, it got to be 3 interceptions. If it's not 3 interceptions, I don't think it's going to get him out there.
Taking anything back. This being said, you have a chance to do something on Sunday, and you can really go down 2 roads. One involves trying to play a game commensurate with winning and keeping the game close. The other has a possibility to turn into a blowout. And if it turns into a blowout, the blood will be on your hands. So when this comes to Sunday's game, do not abandon the run and do not have Dillon Gabriel throw more than 45 times in this game.
Now, we're just going to stop him right there. I have 2 questions, y'all, based on what he said. Does this sound like a coach that we should trust? If you on the radio are laying out what he should do to win a game, should we trust that coach? Then, if you are predetermining how many times the quarterback is capable of being able to throw the ball before the game, regardless of circumstances, should we believe in that quarterback? Hey, they're just the questions, y'all. I'm just going to be the one to ask the questions. To me, this sounds like two people we shouldn't believe in. That's what I take from that open of that video. I still think he won't push Shedeur and he's going to go down with DG. Kevin, you're about to lose your job. That's a fact. I got to get that clip. You're about to lose your job. I got to get that clip. They go down by 14 early. It's changing. We're going to see. They flip-flop so much. Yeah, right, Shiro. This is not people we should believe in. Not people we should believe in. So they all over the place. But if you can speak that confidently about what they should do, maybe we shouldn't trust these people. Let's see what else they got to say. Let's listen a little bit more.
If you do not like the roads that open up with Dillon throwing 45 or more times in this game, a la the Pittsburgh game. I know they're going to stop you. They're going to bottle you up on 1st and 10, right? You might have to get creative with some of the runs you use. I understand this. Keep your identity with Quinshon Judkins, even as they bottle you up. See if you can.
All right, y'all. This has been delayed, but y'all know I got to switch it off these guys for a second. I wasn't paying attention. I was probably on a rant. I was behind. I got to go. Let's get them off the screen for a second. Let's take them off the screen. Y'all know what's coming when it's time when I got to take them off the screen and I got to give people their proper due and their proper pops, their proper respect. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to slow it down for a second. Let's go. We're going to start here. My man Zedric, keep being you. Shout out to you, Zedric. Definitely appreciate you. This is what Zedric said this morning. And this is what I'm saying now.
I got money.
At this point, Zedric is the sponsor of today's show. I need everybody to put Zed Mac in the chat. Everybody put Zed Mac in the chat. We're going to get back to the conversation, but currently Zedric is the sponsor of the show. Shout out to you, my brother. I always appreciate your support. I always appreciate you being here. I always appreciate your input, and I greatly appreciate your kind words. So definitely shout out to you. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I was a little behind, but it crossed my eye, so I had to get right. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank y'all for putting Zed Mac in the chat. That's my guy. Appreciate you. Let's get back to it. Let's get back to these peeps. And I got to, let's see, did I miss anybody? After the first preseason game, I never trust Kevin Stefanski. Marie, you're correct. Let Kevin and Dillon will be jumping in the river together. They're going to be doing like Hugh Jackson when we won one game. Holding hands, that's a fact. Deshaun Watson said no, that's a fact. So, I don't know what happened. My bot just got Miss Brown. Hey, Streamlabs bot. Look, we need to have a talk. We're going to talk after the stream, Streamlabs bot, because you be going in on my people. So I need you got to relax. You got to relax, Streamlabs. Let's see what they say.
Break down that run defense over time. There, PSA done.
PSA done, but we all know the reality here. And the reality of the situation, I don't know that Stefanski will be able to limit himself and his desire to try to make Dillon Gabriel have the best Dillon Gabriel game possible. The setup is there, and he plays matchups more than he plays. We have a great running back, and we need to make sure that he cooks. Patriots' run defense is awesome. Their pass defense is absolutely awful. And so I think he's just going to look at it the way he's looked at this the entire time. What do they do best? Okay, we're going to veer away from that. I think you are, I'm just trying to prepare you. I've been trying to prepare you all week. Get yourself mentally ready. And Browns fans out there, get yourself mentally ready as well. He is not going to use Quinshon the way that you want him to use Quinshon on Sunday.
So listen, I understand that there is some give here.
So what the reason why they're saying it is because the New England Patriots have not given up more than 50 yards to a rusher in a game yet. We know that Quinshon Judkins is our whole offense right now at this point. So how fast can they get Kevin Stefanski to move off of running the ball if he doesn't have success? and this could look just like Pittsburgh. It could look just like it. It could look just like Pittsburgh. So that's what they're doing. They're throwing a warning out there. It could get ugly. That's what they're saying, and that's the reason why they're saying that. Let's see if there's anything else we need from this one.
Right? I'm not saying you have to run as many times you did against Miami. You got an early lead there, and then you kept getting a bigger lead. Totally get it. What I am saying is if Quinshon doesn't have 18-plus carries on Sunday, one of two things has happened.
If you can't do it against the Pats this weekend, when will he do it? Probably never. That's it. He probably never will be able to do it. We got enough of what we need from them right there. I want to take y'all back a couple weeks. There were some people who were supporting Dillon Gabriel real hard in the chat, and nobody wants to go back to the hospital. That is a fact. He was setting them up. There was some people in the chat that was really riding for Dillon Gabriel, and what they tried to do was they tried to put me in a corner. I see tons of screens to Quinshon from Dillon Gabriel coming on Sunday. That would be smart. If they're smart, Miss Jones, that's what they should do. They should make sure they can get Junkins out of the backfield and use a tendency breaker with throwing him the ball versus always thinking he needs to run, because the key is you want to get the ball in his hands. So going back to the Dillon Gabriel supporters, they were here. They were talking. It was somebody named I think Jermaine Long. Shout out to Jermaine. He was in Jamaica, and there was somebody else from Hawaii, and they were trying to paint me in a corner to say that maybe Dillon, they thought Dillon was the answer. I thought Shedeur would be the answer, but I broke down in football reasons what the Browns need to do to make things better, to make the offense better. They had a little pushback. It was probably 10 minutes of it. And I remember Marie was like, if you like Dillon Gabriel and that's your guy, just say that. I remember specifically Marie saying that. So those guys, I broke down football, what they needed to do. The issue is I'm willing to put out there how I view something, why I view something, and give you an answer for it. They had pushback, but lo and behold, Tommy Rees agrees with me. The Browns offensive coordinator agrees with me on what the Browns need to do to get the offense going. What do you know? Maybe I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. Maybe I don't. We're going to see. Let's get to Tommy Rees, y'all. Pats are going to make mincemeat pie out of DG this weekend. It could get ugly. It could get ugly. I don't know why Tommy Rees got this weird mustache, but let's go. Let's see what he has to say. Hopefully this is loud enough for y'all. My sound's been a little off today.
Stretch the field, get the ball downfield a little more. It's only, I think, the longest, 24-yard pass.
Yeah. Hopefully a dry day would help start that off. But we just got to trust it. We got to put him in the right spots to, see the coverage, trust what he's seeing, let it go. That starts with us as coaches. We got to put him in the right positions. We got to put him in the right positions during the week to make sure he has confidence in those plays. And then, he's throughout camp, throughout the preseason, he was not trigger shy on that stuff. I still don't think he is. We just got to give him the right looks and make sure that we're preparing him to trust those things and see him and let him go.
Have a young quarterback like Shedeur that's still.
So I said they need to take the top off the defense to open up the field to create more space to run the ball, pass underneath, and do the things that make Dillon Gabriel where he could have success. Tommy Rees said the same thing. So when these people, when they get to arguing, oh man, it's just you just piling on him. No, his limitations are the reason why the offense can't get anything done. See, he mentioned that open throw to Quinshon Judkins where he took off running instead. That's a fact. We saw that on the film. We watched the all 22. They ran a mesh play. The first time he missed Jerome Ford. The second time they ran the play, he rose out to his left, his strong side, so he should be able to make that touch pass to Quinshon Judkins, your best offensive playmaker at this point. He doesn't throw him the ball. He just runs with it. So if you listen to what Tommy Rees said, we got to make sure he's confident in doing it. So that goes back to earlier where I believe it was Zedric mentioned it seems like his confidence isn't there to actually do the things that they're asking him to do. And I would tend to agree with that. Tommy Reese is right there. Whenever they want to knock where Shedeur is on the depth chart, whenever they want to knock Shedeur for not getting reps, they always go back to the Browns, right? They always go back to the Browns see him every day. The Browns know what's happening. Should we keep that same energy for Dillon Gabriel when they're saying there's things he needs to do better? Hey, these are just questions. I'm just going to be the one to ask the questions. That's it. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm asking the questions. Should we also believe them when they say this? Or should we only believe them when the narrative is something or a reason they want to hold Shedeur back? They need to stop referring to the weather conditions as a reason Dillon might not be successful. They asked Jerry Jeudy if the wind had impact last week. My bot got you, but we're going to read your chat, Ms. Jones. Let's get this up here. They need to stop referring to the weather conditions as a reason Dillon might not be successful. They asked Jerry Jeudy if the wind had impact last week. He said, I don't think it was windy. You're correct. I like where you're going with that, Ms. Jones. Let me find something real quick for y'all. So y'all know I'll be all over the internet finding things, and you just brought something to my attention. And let's see. So Deshaun Watson's quarterback coach said, what do people expect from Dillon Gabriel with 40-mile-an-hour winds? And somebody in his comments posted at the game showing that the wind was a non-factor. If I can find this pretty quickly, I'll bring it up for you. Let's see. Maybe it's some replies. Yeah, my bot is he's off his rocker a little bit today. So bear with him, y'all. Bear with him. Let me see if I can find this. Because what happens is when people try to use these excuses, people start bringing receipts. And when people bring receipts, that's usually when people stop saying what they think. So, dang, did he delete the post? Okay, here we go. We got it. Let's switch this over so I can show y'all because Miss Jones is on to something. Let's go here. Chrome, we got you up. So it's going to be a little bit small, but I'm going to get to showing y'all the actual wind at the game when they tried to make this excuse. So it was raining, 25-mile-an-hour wind. What did you guys want his stat line to look like? So let's check out his replies. Let me find the replies. Because what people will do is they'll tell you these things, and then when somebody hit them with their receipts, nobody responds. Dang, did he delete their? Oh, here we go. I got the video. Let's get this up here for y'all. So this is at the game. All right, I'm going to pause it right here. So let's show you here. Right here on the left goalpost, there's a flag. On the right goalpost, there's a flag. It's kind of small, but if you look, the flag is down. It's not moving, meaning the wind is not blowing. I don't need the sound, but I'm going to play it, and we're going to see if the wind is blowing. They're showing you, hey, look, where's the wind? Where's the rain? Where are these rough conditions that everybody's speaking about? They're there at the game. Always look at who they try to protect. Always look at that. They're trying to defend him with weather conditions. People who are there saying, this is a lie. It's not true. So, Ms. Jones, you're on top of it right there. You're on top of it. People just talking to talk. They're just making excuses for people, and the excuse is not going to work. Now let's get to Shedeur. Shedeur getting no reps. So we took you through, just to bring y'all up to speed real quick. We took Shedeur off the table when we were having this conversation. That was just a forecast anyway. That's a fact. We took Shedeur off the table because people use emotion. We went to DTR, who found out hours before the game he was going to make his first start. He wasn't prepared. He threw 3 interceptions in that game. Some of the worst football I've seen live in person. That was on Kevin Stefanski. That was on Andrew Berry. That was this regime. This is the same regime we're supposed to trust when they say something negative about Shedeur and when they say something positive about Dillon. Even though going back to rookie minicamp, it doesn't match. We're not going to lie on our eyes. We know what our eyes tell us. We know what our eyes see every single day, and it doesn't match. So I had to take it off of Shedeur because that's the easy approach. People will just say, oh, you just came in for Shedeur. They might call you a name regarding Shedeur or something like that. But when you show them in history and time other situations where they were faced with the same task and it led to failure, that's your reason for questioning if they're capable of doing it. And we found the answers. Kevin Stefanski is not capable of doing it. Not capable. But now let's get to former NFL players and how they view it. Because what people want to do is, when people want to discredit what you say, they say, you never played in the NFL. Hey, that's cool. I take it. But now, when we all haven't played in the NFL and the guys who are playing in the NFL question it, then what do we do with that information? It's so many times where
You triggered my trap card.
it's so easy. Let's go. This is going to be Speak. I'm going to show y'all a couple different ways how former NFL players responded to this news. Let's start off with Speak. I'm not an Acho fan. I'm just going to say that first. He plays contrarian too much for me, but let's go.
Now, he's saying because Dillon Gabriel's a starter and young, Shedeur Sanders isn't getting those first-team reps. The question for you guys is, though, should Shedeur be getting first-team reps?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Every team that I've played on, the backup always, all right, practice goes like this. You have in team run 8 to 12 plays, depending on what you guys are working on. Then you go team pass, same thing, 8 to 12 plays. And you go 7-on-7, 8 to 12 plays, and you may do that twice.
Mm-hmm.
Every section of that, the backup is going to get 2 to 4 reps. Every time. 2 to 4 reps, just in case. The starter is not taking no damn 12 reps in a row in team run, 12 reps in a row, team pass, 12 reps in a row on 7-on-7. The backup always gets reps.
Let me push back, T.
They tried it regarding Shedeur, but we know what's up. That's why we're not going anywhere. Acho is a clown. I would have to agree with you. We know what his Halloween costume is going to be. And this is where he starts to push back.
He pushed back. If the starter is a vet, yes, then the backup going to get reps. Because when D'Amico Ryans was the number one and I'm his backup, D'Amico Ryans not taking all 12 first-team reps. Absolutely not. Acho, get in there for about 8 of them. And the worst part is, I'm going to take more first-team reps than D'Amico, and I ain't finna see the field on Sunday. I'm going to see the field on kickoff, kick return, punt return. That's it. Mm-hmm. So if D'Amico's there, yes. But when D'Amico got hurt, and now I'm running with the ones, my backup's not getting first-team reps. Acho, you taking all the first-team reps because I can't afford for you to go out there and make a mistake. You're not as good as D'Amico. You're not as experienced as D'Amico. You're not as savvy and veteran as D'Amico. So you better see every single look in practice. I'm not going to have the practice squad guy that's now been elevated.
I think Acho is contrarian because he doesn't like the motion Shedeur has as a 5th-round pick. It's definitely some jealousy undertones there. It's also some, I have to show I'm smarter than I am because I couldn't show it on the field, whether that be physical limitations, whether that be will, whether that be his burning desire to be great, whether that be his inability on how he viewed failure, or going back to Nipsey Hussle, which we played earlier. He just didn't give it his all. He gave up. So it could be all of those reasons why Acho is where he is. He always got an example of where he never played. That's a fact, Ms. Jones. That is a fact. It's funny because he's going to try to use that as a trump card here, and it's not going to work. How is the linebacker position and QB position relative to each other in regard to reps? Zedric, you're reading my mind. Totally different. A lot of it is timing. One is based on timing. The other is based on tendencies, reading, and reacting. A linebacker is looking at tendencies. He's looking at what you like to do in these situations. He's reading. He's reacting. That is totally different to a person who's doing things based on timing. Totally different. 2 different skill sets that you use to have success at those 2 positions. So that's where he is incorrect.
splitting any first-team reps with you, Acho, because you need to get them all. Dillon Gabriel is a pup. Dillon Gabriel can't afford to be giving Shedeur Sanders first-team reps because Dillon Gabriel not good enough to give away no first-team reps.
I agree with both of those, Asante. Definitely jealousy undertones. Acho has a backup mindset. That is a fact. Probably part of the reason why he couldn't make it.
Flacco, Gabriel, get all the first-team reps you want.
What happens if Dillon Gabriel goes down now and Shedeur ain't getting reps? Over.
But that is the plight of a backup in the NFL. That's why I wish y'all knew more about.
That's not the plight of a backup quarterback in the NFL. The one thing they will say is he isn't playing on time. If he falls short, I see the play. That is a fact. They are waiting to say that. That's why they talk. That's why they made the street ball comment. And I had such a big issue with that street ball comment. They are waiting to say he's not on time. And they're going to say, this is how they're going to describe Kevin Stefanski's offense. This is a timing and rhythm-based offense, and he's just a little bit late with getting to the throws. They're going to really break down if he's ready to throw the ball when he gets to the third step of his drop. Those are the things they're going to break down. You need reps to get that timing down, and that's what they're going to try to use against him. If you watch Astro, the 2 years, 12 was at Colorado, everyone knows he always had trash takes about Shedeur, other popular black athletes like Angel Reese. He's trash, a clown. That's a fact. That's a fact. He doesn't seem stupid, so I think he's doing this on purpose. He's articulate. He understands what's happening. He bought this YouTube channel from Fox Sports. He is building on that, so he doesn't seem stupid. That means he knows exactly what he's doing. That's how I view people. A person, let me know if y'all heard this before. A smart person can play dumb. A dumb person can't play smart. He is playing dumb. It has nothing to do with when he was picked during the draft. That's why I don't watch Acho. Shady always get them together. And in this segment, TJ Husmanzada is getting them together.
About like what it is to be a backup in the league. T, you never really did.
He's trying to use that. You were never a backup in the league. But watch what happens.
In my opinion, I assume. But like, if you're a backup and you go ball,
I was a backup.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh. When?
My first 2 years in the league.
Then you get it.
Right there. That's the only point we had to get to. We had to get to the point where he says what he was trying to do is he was trying to inflate the value of his NFL experience as a backup, which don't ever try to glorify you being a backup. That's loser. That's loser talk. That's straight up loser talk. When you try to inflate the value of being a backup, you wasn't good enough. That's trash talk. But then when that didn't work, he said, "Oh, so you get it." So then, wouldn't you agree what he said previously, Acho?
You triggered my trap card.
If y'all notice, all these conversations are going the same way. It doesn't matter if I'm showing you Cleveland, local media. It doesn't matter if I'm showing you these guys don't speak. Everywhere you look, everybody is walking into the trap because they think they got more experience, and they don't. That's enough for Acho. That's enough. TJ Husmanzada got him. Let's go to Unc and Ocho.
I appreciate that, man. Ocho Joe, Kevin Stefanski says Shedeur Sanders is not getting any first-team reps like Dillon Gabriel, like Dillon Gabriel did when Joe Flacco was the starter. Stefanski said it's because Gabriel being young, you want to make sure he's getting a lot of reps. It's different when you have a vet like Joe. Ocho, what you think? Is this normal protocol?
Hell nah, you know that ain't normal protocol. You should be doing.
There you have it, guys. And y'all know Acho want that RG3 fan base. Miss Jones, you on to something. Look how quick they got to it. I really appreciate when people just say exactly what it is right away and they deal with the other stuff later. That's all I like to handle situations. Do you think Kevin Stefanski should be fired? Yes. These are my reasons why. Do you think this is normal protocol? No. Right away. Immediately. I'm not trying to explain it to you. I'm not trying to make it sound good. I'm not trying to make it be better than what it is. Nope. Not normal protocol. There you go. Now let's see what Ocho has to say.
The same exact thing You were doing with Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel. Now, if Dylan Gabriel is starting, you should be doing the same thing you were doing with Dylan Gabriel and Joe Flacco with goddamn Shedeur. It's a bunch of trash, and all that is telling me is that Shedeur is not closer to getting the starting job until Dylan Gabriel shows that he just can't get the job done. And that's why I say they're probably maybe towards the end of the season, maybe last 3 weeks. Dylan Gabriel, at some point, teams are going to force him. You're going to have to beat us with your arm. We're not going to allow QJ to run up and down the field. They're going to stack 9 in the box. You're going to have to prove that you can beat us with your arm.
There you have it. So you have a Hall of Famer in Unc. You have someone who should be in the Hall of Fame in Ocho. You got Joe Johnson. Look how quick they got to the nuts and bolts of the conversation, and they just laid it out. It's no emotion. This is no, oh, we just doing this because we ride with Shedeur. They just laid this thing right out for you. They laid it right out. It's not normal, and this seems like they're going to keep trying to trot Dylan Gabriel out there. Does anybody disagree with their quick assessment of the situation? Does anybody disagree with him? Let's keep listening while we wait for y'all to respond.
That's it.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, I think, look, everywhere I've been, even when we had veteran quarterbacks or whatever, he get 1 or 2 reps. I know. Obviously, normally, I don't know how it was, but we had 10 plays. We ran 10 plays per period. Offense got 10, defense got 10.
Right.
Offense got 10, defense got 10. Okay, special teams, do what they do, whether it was punt return, kick return, whatever the case may be. And then guess what, Ocho? Another 10, another 10, another 10, number 10, so forth and so on. But you mean to tell me Shedeur can't get 1 rep, 2 reps with the starters?
All right, Ms. Jones, we on the same page. Zed, we on the same page. Kyler, what's good? Kyler, you at 50-50. Talk to us. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us what you're thinking, Kyler, while still playing.
I mean,
out of 10 reps, he can't get 1.
What would that do? That would be wasting time. Getting 1 or 2 reps with the starter is wasting time. And obviously, on Stefanski's side, also, it can give Dylan Gabriel some type of what's the word I'm looking for? Some type of security. Okay, my job is not in jeopardy. I'm not.
I'll say give Shedeur something. That's a fact. Give him something. Now, Zedric, remember earlier you said it seems like they're doing this to protect Dylan Gabriel's confidence. Did you see this same place that a lot of people were ending up at? It seems like they're doing this more to protect Dylan Gabriel than they are to prepare both guys to get ready. So these guys been in the locker rooms. We go to them for their insight from being in the locker rooms, how it's viewed in the locker room, how it's spoken on in the locker room. So then why will we now devalue what they say, how practice goes, how reps are split? Why would we do that? It's right there for the taking. It's right there. They're breaking it down. They're explaining this to us. It's right there, y'all.
Not playing as well as I think I should be playing. So I'm getting all the reps to make sure that those reps actually count in practice. And once I get into the games, I'm familiar with those situations.
Okay.
And that's all. I can see it from that point too. You know, as a coach, wanting him to get all the reps so he can get a little bit more comfortable with the situations, as based on it ain't the preseason, Amon. It ain't the preseason.
Asante, that's a fact. That is a fact. It's a fact. There you go. If Mike Tomlin was doing this to Jackson Dart, they would be rioting in the streets. That's a fact. That's what it is. That's it. But let's see what ISO Joe got to say on this.
Can't see.
Listen, they playing the goddamn Patriots this goddamn Sunday. And that defense, man, look here. All that check down here and check down there and trying to stay with
They sitting on everything. They're going to be sitting on everything.
Everything.
Hey, look, I can't see it. I don't see how he can't get no rep. Man, you don't know what's going to happen. This is the NFL, bro.
You one play away.
One play.
So now when the guy goes in,
he ain't never had no
prepared because he ain't getting no reps. You can talk about what he can't. Like I said, Joe, I agree with you. I'm not saying, Ocho, you split it 5 and 5, but he can't get 1 to 2 reps in a 10-play series.
There you go. Whoops. Let me get your comment, Kyler. All right, Zedric. Yep, that's why Kevin wanted to bring Bailey Zappi up. Upper management not allowing it. You onto something? You see, Bailey Zappi has not been added to the active roster, so they could make him the backup. I think you're going to have a rookie starting. You have to be all in on that guy. There has to be something that shows coaches he's not simply ready, and we will probably never know what it is. See, I would say somebody give me something quantifiable. I keep going back to this. These are the same coaches. I want them fired. I want the coaches fired. I want the coaching staff fired. I want to keep Jim Schwartz. I want the front office fired. So I'm not trusting what they say. I'm not trusting how they look at quarterbacks. They told us all these good things about Dillon Gabriel. We are seeing none of the things that they told us about Dillon Gabriel. They told us Dillon Gabriel, Kevin Stefanski said this about Dillon Gabriel's height. On film, we don't see an issue with his height. That's what Kevin Stefanski said. We're into 3 games. We see issues with his height where he can't see the whole field. They told us he was athletic. In 3 games, we're not seeing him be able to navigate the pocket or escape the pocket any different than Joe Flacco, who was old enough to be his daddy. They told us he had elite accuracy. They told us his accuracy was on par with Shedeur. Through 3 games, everybody knows his accuracy is not there. Everything they told us about Dillon Gabriel is being proven out that it wasn't true. That's their guy. So if the guy you wanted, you went and got, you couldn't assess him correctly, how then can I say, I trust you to accept the guy who was forced upon you? Just the questions. We just got to ask the questions. We got to ask the questions. If Kevin Stefanski had any track record of being able to put young guys out there and develop them to get better, he would have some grace. This is a guy everybody wanted to fire a week and a half ago. That person has no grace. The grace is gone. It's ran out. The cup is empty. The cup does not runneth over. So how are we getting there? How we doing it? How we trusting somebody that we shouldn't trust? Not when you got Mary Kay this week saying Shedeur is ready. Not ready is no longer the play anymore. There you go. There you go. Mary Kay is a microphone. She is a microphone for what the Browns want to put out. He can barely move the ball downfield. There you go. I'm telling y'all, I'm not trying to be negative Nancy going into this Sunday's game. Dillon Gabriel is in for a rude awakening. I'm just going to say that. That's all I'm going to say. Shedeur told us he was ready. Despite the fact he had not received first-team reps, I think we're more worried about it than he is. Latanya, I got to agree with you there. I'm only concerned from a timing standpoint. That's my concern. My concern is very specific. It's all about timing, because in good offenses, when the quarterback gets to that 3rd step in the drop, the play is supposed to be there on 3-step drop calls. When it's a 5-step drop, he gets to the 5th step in that drop, the play is supposed to be there. And I think it'll take him a little bit longer to get that timing down with the receivers, because you're marrying one guy's running vertically, one guy's going backwards, and somehow they have to meet and do things at the same time. So that's my only. I don't think this is going to cause Shedeur's career to go bad. I don't think it's going to be all these negative things with him. I just think initially the timing is going to be off. But I believe in Shedeur. Like I always say, if Shedeur send out the bat signal and say, hey, tear this thing up, then there you go. Take it back what I said a few shows ago, mix in some college schemes, transition to a more professional scheme. Now that Kyler, I agree with. I think this week is the first week that Tommy Rees had any input on some of the plays that they implemented. Before this past weekend, find me the time where they schemed open easy throws for quarterbacks. We didn't see Joe Flacco get anything schemed that was easy and open for him. We didn't see early on Dillon Gabriel's first 2 games anything be schemed open for him. I kept saying Kevin Stefanski had to get to mesh plays so they could beat cover 1. On multiple occasions, it was 2 times they ran a mesh play with a wheel route from the running back off of it to the left side to Dylan's strong side to be the easy answer for him. I think that is a Tommy Rees influence, and the reason why I say that is because we haven't seen the Browns run that style of play since Kevin Stefanski's been calling plays. We haven't seen it. So I agree with you on that take, Kyler, and I think we're starting to see that more. We're starting to see Tommy Rees's input into the type of plays they're running. Tommy Rees and Kevin Stefanski put together the Wildcat formation for Quinshon Judkins, which that's not something he's really done like that. Called his best game last week. I agree with you. Last week was the first game where we saw the answers to the test. I always ask y'all, does Kevin Stefanski give his guys the answers to the test? In most cases, their answer is no, he doesn't give them the answers. We saw Dillon Gabriel, who only attempted to throw the ball 18 times. We saw him have answers to the test downfield that he just wasn't willing to take. That is a different conversation. That's a totally different conversation than never having any answers. So I think that's a Tommy Rees influence, but if he don't show it, you got to move on. Let's get to Chris Canty. I kind of mentioned this earlier in the show based on what Zedric said, but let's get to Chris Canty. I'm going to play a little bit more of this. I'm going to kind of skip over 2 people speaking, and then I'm going to go to Chris Canty when he wraps it up at the end after he speaks at the beginning.
With the backup not getting first-team snaps here when Dillon Gabriel is your starter?
I thought that Kevin Stefanski said earlier in the year that he is focused on the development of all of his young quarterbacks. Isn't that what he said? He was focused on the development of Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. That's what he got us. And now we're at the place where you're not going to get Shedeur reps. You're not going to prepare him for the games, knowing that he could be the number 2 quarterback, knowing that he's 1 hit away from going in. How does that make sense?
What's normal
from a readiness standpoint? How does that make sense? Usually a backup quarterback will get 15 to 20% of the reps in practice with the first team.
With the first team? Okay.
Yeah, just so he's prepared to go in the game if he has to.
So what's the constant that we're hearing from former NFL players? They're not saying split it 50-50. They're not saying any of those things. They're saying nobody has said more than 20% of the reps. So nobody is saying more than 2 reps. We heard TJ Husmanzada say that. We heard Uncle Ocho say that. We heard ISO Joe not agree that they got to figure out a way to get them reps. Now we're hearing Chris Canty say they normally get 15 to 20% of the reps. That is 2 reps out of 10 per play sequence. That's all they're asking for. Just in case they're ready if their number's called and they got to go out there. You always got to remember what people are asking for. They are not asking they're not even saying bench Dillon Gabriel. They're saying you have to do 2 things at once. My dad always used to say you have to be able to chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. If you are chewing bubble gum and you got to stop walking because you can't do 2 things at once, then you should be doing neither of those things. This is what they're saying. If you are in a situation where you believe in Dillon Gabriel, you need to prepare Dillon Gabriel as well as prepare your number 2 player to play if he has to get in the game. That is what they're saying. Keep it on the subject. That is the subject. And we keep hearing these guys say this. I think low-key Tua was helping out his bro DG by playing trash. Tua said, I got my money, hate the coach with issues with his team. I'm throwing this to my guy. I'm just saying. You know what, Marie? I haven't heard anybody say that, but you might be on to something like, hey, my money's guaranteed. Let me help my guy out. Even in basketball, you have to intermingle starters and backups at times. There you go. You can't tell me that Kevin didn't set Shedeur up to fail in that Rams game. After this, he don't want the best for Shedeur. Remember, I used Tony Grossi a couple times. I'm not going to use him again. I'm going to summarize what even Tony Grossi said. Y'all know Tony Grossi is all Dillon Gabriel. He's all supporting Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns. He said, at this point, Kevin Stefanski is doing nothing to quiet the "you're trying to sabotage Shedeur" concerns. And he said he's doing that based on his actions. So remember, they just threw it out. Everybody threw it out and said, nah, he's not sabotaging him. Even Tony Grossi threw it out. Now, even Tony Grossi is saying, this looked bad. He's saying it looked bad. GG, what's going on? When everybody is calling it out and saying it looks bad, even the people who are your staunch supporters, it's an issue. It's in plain sight. We see it. You can't hide it. Let's get back to Chris Canty.
Right? So if you have a team period of 12 snaps, the backup quarterback will get 2 to 3. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is abnormal that should
The fact that he's not is weird, and I don't understand it. Now, from a mental standpoint, you don't want to shake the confidence of your young quarterback in Dillon Gabriel, especially since he's been.
Zedric, I got to keep going back to you. When you question if they were doing this to make sure Dillon Gabriel's confidence was intact, if you notice, every player has came to that same conclusion. Every player has came to the exact same conclusion. They are doing this more to support Dillon Gabriel. They're saying whatever happens with Shedeur happens with Shedeur. They're saying we got to make sure Dillon Gabriel's confidence is not rattled. That's what they're saying. They all coming to the same conclusion, y'all. Everybody's getting there. Let's keep going.
Been uneven across his first 3 starts. So maybe there is a little bit of protecting him to keep him from looking over his shoulder when it comes to the Shedeur of it all, because the media is clamoring for it. The fan base certainly wants to see it. Everybody wants number 12 in a Browns jersey to get out there so they can see what he wants to do, because he is one of the most polarizing figures in the NFL, mostly through no fault of his own. So maybe this is Kevin Stefanski trying to shield Dillon Gabriel from all of that. But to that, I would say, if you're that worried about the fragility of his mental state, then he's probably not your franchise quarterback anyway.
Yeah, that would surprise me if that is the route that they were taking.
It's very key. The end of what he said. If he's that fragile, maybe he's not the guy. You have Grossi, who spent months hating Shedeur, not being able to make sense of it. He's coddling DG. There you go. Everybody now is so obvious. Now nobody can deny it. It's a nature versus nurture experience. There you go. Hey, you got to push that bird out there and let him go figure out how to fly. You got to do it. That's what they do in the wild. You got to throw that bird out there. Go fly, man. Figure it out. They've been protecting Brucey since day one. He didn't even earn the backup or starting job. There you go. You're on to something, Asante. You are on to something. From the very beginning, they treated Dillon Gabriel like he was a first round draft pick from the very beginning. So if you notice, when people complete these statements that they're making, everybody just sit there quiet because they don't even have a rebuttal. Even a lady who a couple weeks ago was questioning Shedeur, she's saying, dang, if that's the reason, I don't really got nothing to say. The other guy just looking down. He trying to come up. He over there Googling something. Let me try to come up with something. Everybody see it. This stuff is obvious. DG has a broken wing. Facts. You know, the first time they threw the bird out, he tried to fly. He was too high. He like, dang, he done stubbed the wing already. He off. He's off. We're going to skip past what they say. We're going to get to the end of what Chris Canty says because they just make points to be contrarians. We're going to skip that.
Having him, not necessarily in the quarterback room as a whole.
Here's what I'll say. We saw 4 games.
It's a disservice to Shedeur. The plan is to develop Dillon. Let me read that over. I was going too fast. It's a disservice to Shedeur. The plan is to develop Dillon up to and past Shedeur. Shedeur is fortunate for resources to self-develop. There you go. If y'all notice, every 2 weeks they give us another hot button word that we're supposed to focus on. 2 weeks ago was development. Before that, it was he's not ready. Everybody see it. You see it, Marie. It's super obvious. Everybody sees it. They thought DG wouldn't start his first game until week 10. The whole time was sped up. It's going to work out in Shedeur's favor. I agree with you there, Zedric. I agree with you there. It's right in front of us. Open your eyes, people.
Games with Joe Flacco. We're going into the fourth game with Dillon Gabriel. They've got a bye week after that. If Dillon Gabriel doesn't show better than he has in the first 3 outings, then Shedeur Sanders' time needs to be then. They should take the bye week, extra week to prepare to get Shedeur Sanders ready to go into the game. This season has always been about the Cleveland Browns getting as much information about the quarterbacks that they have under contract so they can make an informed decision about how they move forward with that position in 2026. We got to keep in mind, Deshaun Watson is entering the window to return to practice. He's going to be in the mix in the second half of the season.
That's insane to me.
So that's a November, December proposition. You owe it to yourself through the investment in the draft pick in Shedeur Sanders, and quite frankly, the confidence that you showed in him by being willing to trade away Kenny Pickett, a guy that you gave away a draft pick for earlier this offseason in order to keep him on your active roster. You owe it to yourself to find out what Shedeur Sanders can and cannot do. You absolutely do. And so to me, it is a missed opportunity if they stay the course with Dillon Gabriel after the bye, if Dillon Gabriel doesn't show significant improvement against the New England Patriots this weekend.
So let's say you're
There you go. There you go. What people wanted to do all throughout this process was say people want Shedeur to have the advantage. What they don't realize is we have enough confidence in Shedeur. We don't need him to have the advantage. Once you put them on a level playing field, you will see the cream rise to the top. You won't have to play all these games to build up Shedeur's confidence. You won't have to play all these games to not focus on the overall success of the team and only focus on Shedeur, because it's what he brings to the table. Everybody is getting to the same conclusion. The Shedeur haters, this is the worst situation for people who hate Shedeur. Because early on, they had the Rams game. They had all these different things they can blame. Now, when the front office is eliminating roadblocks for Shedeur, it's only a matter of time. When they get rid of Kenny Pickett, it's only a matter of time. When they get rid of Joe Flacco, it's only a matter of time. When they don't bring up Bailey Zappi to the active roster, it's only a matter of time. That's all it is, y'all. We just waiting the thing out. They probably wanted Shedeur not to play to the last 4 weeks. They probably thought Dillon Gabriel was better than he was. We are getting there. You always come at a crossroads where it takes an adult to go into the room and make the decision. The problem with the Browns is they didn't have a laid out game plan from the beginning, so they are floating with the wind. They're all over the place. All over the place. It's strongly looking like week 10 will be the beginning. I agree with Canty. I agree with him as well. More and more players are showing up on the injury list each game. They want Shedeur in the game. This is what happens. Players are not going to publicly, Browns players are not going to publicly say anything bad about Dillon Gabriel. They didn't publicly say anything bad about Joe Flacco. They put the pressure on the coaching staff. They called out the coaching staff. The next time these players call out the coaching staff, that is signaling we need more changes, and everybody knows what that change is going to be. Everybody knows what it's going to be. Everybody knows it. We just getting there. Just slow walking them. If you follow Boog on X, he said, hey, we just going to walk them down. He just slow walking them down to leave you no more options. And because they want to give Dillon Gabriel all this runway, they're going to exhaust every option for Dillon Gabriel. And when they go to Shedeur, you're not coming off Shedeur. So when you are short-sighted, you're only looking at right now, you're not thinking about the whole plan. You think what you are doing is setting Dillon Gabriel up for the most success. But what you're doing is you're overly exposing Dillon Gabriel, where once you go to Shedeur, you're never going to have to move back to Dillon. Everybody's going to know exactly what he is. That's what they're doing. Let's see if there's anything else we got to get from Chris Candy before we get this thing wrapped up. Let's see. I think it's an end here that I want to get to as well. I don't like when people try to treat down one person to uplift another person. They tried it with Shedeur, but didn't realize a lot of us been supporting him and his family since he was a child. I totally agree. I had a short that I made, and in that short, I said Shedeur Sanders fan base is an unaccounted for group of people when it comes to football. And I said the NFL was not taking them into account. The Browns are not taking them into account. And now when everybody ratings is up, everybody views is up. That's why everybody want to talk about Shedeur, because it's an unaccounted for fan base that they didn't think was as strong as it was. Look at Shedeur Sanders' jersey sales. The stuff is right there. It's all right in your face. People said, and it was easy because they were doing the 5th round draft pick stuff with Shedeur. People were calling me out saying, his fan base don't make a difference. Okay, let me ask y'all. If you've been a Cleveland Browns fan for more than 1 year, have the Cleveland Browns ever showed this much on their social media in the offseason? Have the Cleveland Browns ever done a mini series based on one position being a quarterback competition in the preseason? The Cleveland Browns is even moving different. They're even moving different. They know what's in front of them. When have you seen the Cleveland Browns put out all these videos and stuff? You haven't seen it. So that's the difference. It's there. People just need to acknowledge it and accept it. I saw it early. I saw it very early, and I just said it. I said, man, they don't know what's going to hit them. I said the Cleveland media was going to step their game up. We saw the Cleveland media go through the initial response to hating Shedeur. Then we go through them the response of other people are the answer. Now we're right back to the beginning of Shedeur is the answer. There you go. Cheryl, you've been around. You see the Browns moving different. Asante, born and raised in Cleveland. You see the Browns moving different. They're all moving different. So that's why they have to step their game up. That's why the Browns got to step their game up. That's why the media got to step their game up. That's why everybody has to move different. That's why you got to understand the game to speak on the game now. Because usually they try to compare Shedeur Sanders fan base to Johnny Manziel, what he did in college, or Tim Tebow. That's what they try to do. The problem is Shedeur has always been about football. Everybody knew Tim Tebow wasn't going to be a good quarterback because his throwing motion was too slow. What did Shedeur do? Shedeur's throwing motion was worked on as a child, so he was already ahead of the game. This is stuff they're not taking into account. How much content you think they have saved once he becomes a starter? It might be overload. Oh my goodness. They have. I'm telling you. They're going to do, I'm calling it now. They're going to do a docuseries style YouTube breakdown of everything Shedeur went through. They're going to start at the draft. They're going to start with the phone call. They're going to show him jumping in the water. They're going to show when he gets to Cleveland. They're going to show a little turmoil with the speeding ticket and him responding to it. They're going to play all these things out. And they're going to write it like a movie. And they're just going to release it every week on YouTube. That's what they're going to do. I'm calling it right now. It's going to be there. Yep, slowly starting to change the narrative. That's a fact. These Cleveland channels wouldn't have gotten this much attention if it wasn't for Shedeur. They owe Shedeur big time. That is a fact. That is a major fact. If people aren't willing to be honest enough to tell you that their channel grew because of Shedeur, then you just can't believe that person in life. You just can't believe that person. a lot of y'all, my channel blew up crazy. It came from the subject I was speaking on, mainly 98% of me and how I view Shedeur Sanders. If any person is not willing to be honest with you and say that, then you just gotta know that that person is a liar. That's what it is. And y'all know I'm always willing to take a hard stance on something. If anybody is not willing to say that and they speak on Cleveland sports, they just a liar. That's all it is. That's all it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just gonna tell y'all what it is. Let me wrap this up with Chris Canty before we end this show.
In 2026.
Think about the words you just uttered. That Deshaun,
You're not going to move on from Deshaun Watson if he's good in the final 5 games.
Is that the best scenario from them because they're paying him so much money? For him to actually come back and be good?
Because it allows you to do what we've said all along, which is imagine if, and we did it with Gabriel.
Get to that point on whether or not Deshaun Watson can be the guy in 2026. We got to see Shedeur Sanders before we get to that point. But otherwise, why did you keep him on your team? There was no point. Like you asked the question, what was the point of starting Dillon Gabriel? What was the point of drafting Shedeur Sanders? What was the point of keeping him on your active roster if you weren't going to play him at some point this season? It would literally be pointless.
Yeah. But how?
He left him speechless. Remember last week I don't know what day it was. I always say last week because that's easy. But remember when I was giving Shedeur Sanders fans all these props? Have you all noticed everything they spoke on Shedeur Sanders fans saying when they recognized the dysfunction in Cleveland, they said release Shedeur? Now you got everybody getting to that point. What is Bucky's tagline? The neglected will be respected. Isn't that his tagline? First they clown you, they tell you don't know, they call you names, and then in the end, they just repeat what you said from the beginning. That is what they do. Also, the difference with us, we're not asking for anything to be given to Shedeur, just be fair. We are confident in his ability as a QB, not just because we like him, he's talented. That is a fact. I've already pictured the many ads that will come out around his first start. They can't wait. The stuttering was about to start. They was about to.
Have you ever had a dream that you could do so?
That's what they was about to do. The Sanders stimulus package. That's a fact. That is a fact. To appease Shedeur fans is to make money off his face and name. That's a fact, man. The rejected will be respected. Okay, thank you for correcting me. The rejected will be respected. It's perfect. It's almost like perfect timing. This has been a really great show. Shout out to all y'all for being here. Y'all really make this show really worth me putting in the work. It really makes me want to, put together a better show, package it together for y'all so we can enjoy ourselves, for about an hour and a half, 2 hours as we go throughout the week. So I definitely appreciate y'all. Shout out to all of y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be live. We're going to be breaking this thing down as it happens. Sunday, 12:50. We're going to be looking at the Cleveland Browns, New England Patriots. Will Dillon Gabriel step up? Will things get better? Or are we just letting the clock tick down until we get to Shedeur? Which I think that's what we're doing. This has been good. I like this. The new schedule going forward. New schedule is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It was getting to a point where towards the end of the week, I was leaving y'all, and it was so much stuff going on after Wednesday, and I'm like, man, I really got to get back to it. I got to make sure I'm here for y'all. So new schedule going forward. Monday, 10:30 a.m. Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. Friday, 10:30 a.m. Browns Sundays, 10 minutes before kickoff. That is when we will be live. So shout out to you, Latanya. I learned a lot from your show. Thank you. I appreciate that. I put in the work. Thank you for your input. Cheryl, I appreciate you. Van, shout out to you. So I appreciate all of y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tap in. I will see y'all Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your Saturday. And let's get ready for the game on Sunday. It's been real, y'all. Peace.